Good evening. This side Rahul Magan here as a Group Chief Executive Officer, Treasury Consulting, and also a venture capitalist. As we speak, Treasury Consulting is a multinational headquartered group based out of Singapore. We have three legal entities: India, Singapore, and Hong Kong. The most interesting fact about Treasury Consulting is all three legal entities are 100% profitable and all are cash rich. And this is a big problem for many venture capitalists and private equity firms because they cannot digest that. They feel that how can somebody create a company, becomes profitable, then cash rich, and operates in multiple countries without raising a single dollar from us. Because they believe that the world is like Paytm, Ola, Swiggy, Zomato, Policy Bazaar, Nikea, and all these companies who are either loss making or negative retained earnings and having huge investments by venture capitalists and private equity firms. They believe in that way. Anyways, we proudly claim that Treasury Consulting is a multi-million valuation company, and we can challenge our valuation to anyone, because we are not a loss-making company. The biggest trait of Treasury Consulting is we are a hedge fund. By hedge fund, we means we take positions in different asset classes. But there is a catch. The catch is we are a proprietary hedge fund. By proprietary, I means whatever positions which we are taking, $1, $2, $3, $4, $10, or example, these positions are backed up by our own capital. So no private equity firm, no venture capitalist, no venture debt, or any form of exposure which we have who backing up our own positions. And our hedge fund is a multinational hedge fund, which means we took positions in Asian equities, Asian indices, European equities, European indices, US equities, US indices. But having said that, we are completely proprietary in nature. Treasury Consulting as a group holds interest in other revenue streams, which includes our private news desk, where we share financial and non-financial information who are in public with our analysis. I repeat, knowledge. We have our FNO, Future and Options Learning Academy. We have our consulting business. We have our learning arm, Sheetal Academy. We have 200 plus live trainings online. We have our private placement program desk. We have our family office desk, and we have many more products, including our OTT. OTT stands at over the top, TRFX Academy. Now, having said that, Treasury Consulting would be coming up in more product and services, like we are working to launch our audiobooks platform and many more. But one thing which is very clear is that treasury consulting would continue to be a proprietary hedge fund, which means the third party investment is strictly limited or zero, preferably zero. That's more important. Today, we would be covering a very important topic, which is syndication. And this brings the beginning of treasury consulting in the world of investment banking. Although this is not the first video which I am shooting about investment banking. So today I would be covering a very important video called syndication. And I would explore you the world of syndication, which looks very easy, rosy, but practically speaking, it is not. In case you wish to have any questions, you can WhatsApp on my personal number +91 9899242978. Alternatively, you can WhatsApp at our back office, which is +91 9818485155. Have a great time ahead. See you in the part 1. Welcome to part 1 of the video, which is titled Syndication. I raised my points many times that accounting and investment banking are the two most corrupt business practices we have in the world. On accounting, I have raised many proofs on social media, which includes EY, Deloitte, KPMG, PwC, and many big fours accounting firms. Now, effective 1st April 2022, I am entering into the world of investment banking. And I will assure you that I would be covering majority aspects of the investment banking. Not everything would be on the YouTube. Many would be on our trainings platform. First of all, we need to understand who is an investment banker. That's very important to learn. Many people do not know the difference between investment banker and merchant banker. And they feel that both are same. But this is incorrect, because the difference between merchant banker and investment banker is as we have Somalia and Sri Lanka. Now both are same, practically. Anyways. Investment banker is a person who raises the capital. That's it. Now, he holds multiple ways. Example, either via equity sale, via convertibles, via foreign convertibles, via preferred shares, via external commercial borrowings, via foreign direct investment, via bilateral swaps, via composite products, and hell lot of things. His job is only to raise money for the client, and he hardly bothers what the client is, how the client is going to use this money. And history is witness that, example, in the 1MDB scandal, the role of Goldman Sachs. You check Google and see there are often examples that investment bankers did fraud after fraud. As we speak, UBS Credit Suisse, and many European banks either winded it up their investment banking business or almost tuned down, which means that almost no business. Now, guys, one thing which we need to learn very importantly and efficiently is that investment banker has nothing to do with the role of a merchant banker. So what the hell merchant banker do? Merchant banker do merchant banking. Example, SBLC, BG, foreign exchange, credit lines, retail banking, all these, corporate banking, all these. So there is a hell lot of difference between merchant banking and investment banking. But sometimes merchant banker and investment bankers came together, rather very close. It is very difficult to decide who is doing whose role, because sometimes a big funding came. So example, I'm now in this video, I'm taking an example. I repeat, I'm taking an example. But this is not a realistic case, right? This is an example. Bharti Airtel wanted to raise, or say Reliance, which would be better. Reliance wanted to raise $5 billion because they are entering into the world of renewables. Like Mr. Ambani said many times on social media, on variety of interviews and the annual general meetings. Now, Reliance wanted to raise $5 billion. It is not a small amount. And Reliance is making one thing very clear, that this $5 billion which Reliance is raising, this is the first tranche. So they would be raising 4 tranches. I again repeat, it's an example. It means 5 billion into 4 equal to 20 billion US dollars. Reliance would be raising. Now 20 billion, which is approximately 1,50,000 crores in INR terms, is not the cup of tea of a single bank. A single bank cannot raise that money. Basically, raise that money means cannot give the money from his pocket. Because for a single bank, 20 billion worth of funding is a very big thing. Is a very, very big thing. He needs some partners who come into the picture and help him. He needs some partner. Now, by partner, I means there are 2 type of partners we can have in the world of investment banking. Only 2. Whether you talk about India, you talk about United States, you talk about Europe, you talk about Russia, you talk about China, you talk about Asia Pacific, whatever, hardly matters. Number 1 is the arranger. Number 2 is the participant. Third, sometimes hybrid. Now, Reliance contacted the top investment bank of the globe, Goldman Sachs, that I wanted to raise 5 billion tranche in 4 tranches of 5 billion each, total 20 billion in next 1 year. Why? I would like to invest this money in the renewable business. Okay. Reliance balance sheet is strong. So Goldman Sachs having no objection to help him. But what the hell? 20 billion is a big money. And Goldman cannot give like this, hey guys, take it, the check. No, not like that. Now, people often use this as a syndication. But I will come to syndication later, but this is completely wrong, because before syndication, which books will never tell you, there is an interesting element called interbank. Now, Goldman would first look into their own balance sheet. Can they themselves fund 5 billion to Reliance? If the answer is yes, they evaluate the risk and return everything, which is called ABC, you know. And if the answer is no, then answer is no. Then Goldman would be going to interbank desk. Once the answer is no, interbank includes Credit Suisse, JP Morgan, Citi, Deutsche, Barclays, UBS, ANZ, Westpac, around 6,000 banks in the interbank. And Goldman would be asking, hey guys, as you knew that Reliance is raising 5 billion tranche, total 4 tranche, 20 billion, 10-year funding. I am the lead arranger or the head of syndication. I will come to the definition of syndication later. Would you be helping me? Now, help is of two types. Suppose JP Morgan Chase is replying to Goldman and saying, hey guys, I am ready to help you, but I have a condition. I do not know that you are giving this money to Reliance. To me, it hardly matters. I am giving my money to Goldman. So I am betting on Goldman. I am not betting on Reliance. Now, Goldman will take up a call whether they agree to the condition of JP Morgan or not. That the call Goldman need to take. While Credit Suisse say, okay, I am ready to fund you. I am ready to give you near about $500 million. But having said that, I am taking a call on Reliance, not on the Goldman Sachs. Views differ. So the help which is coming from interbank is of two types. Number one who is taking a call on the head of syndication. Other who is taking a call on the party or the counterparty itself. This is first video. See you in the part second. Welcome to part second of the video titled Syndication. Now, the example which we are covering of Reliance Industries Limited, Goldman Sachs would first need to convince the interbank that either they want a call on Reliance, who is the ultimate beneficiary in our parlance, or they want a call on Goldman Sachs himself, who is a lead syndication partner. Unfortunately, when we look at newspaper, we look at magazines, we look at the business channels, we often get, I'm just creating an example, Goldman syndicated 2 billion funding for XYZ company. Oh, come on, guys. It's a very good news that Goldman did that. But the biggest question is Goldman took the call on that party, or the Goldman took the call on himself? Because both have the legal, taxation, accounting, and valuation issues. So if JP Morgan Chase is taking a call on Goldman, who is 150 years old bank, near about $1 trillion asset book, near about more than $1 trillion derivative book, then the credit spread would be much, much, much lesser as compared to Reliance. While if JP Morgan is taking a call on Reliance, then the credit spread would be higher. Probably the scenario would be different for Deutsche. The scenario would be different for Barclays. The scenario would be different for Citi. Now, one important thing which we need to learn is that as the volume of syndication grew, Like in our example, we assume Reliance raising 5 billion tranche into 4, total 20 billion in another 1 year. So the weakest balance sheet banks will charge more credit spread as compared to credit spread and interest cost as compared to the strong banks. So very important thing which lead syndication partner needs to do is to convince or is to settle the funding cost. And there are multiple ways how to settle this. We will let you know in our later videos. So this is called syndication. When the front face would be Goldman, but actually JP Morgan, Citi, UBS, Deutsche, ANZ, NAB, Westpac, DBS, OCBC, your OCBC, UOB, and many banks participated. But the face is Goldman. Now, syndication there are two kind of people we have in syndication. Generally three, but preferably two. Number one is the arranger. JP Morgan is very clear. Guys, wait. I'm not going to give you my funding. Please, don't expect my funding. I would be arranging from interdealer brokers, interdealer network. I'm not giving you my funding. Not because I'm not taking a call on Reliance, not because I'm not taking a call on Goldman, but I'm an arranger. So I will not give my funding. I'm an arranger. Another is the participant. JP will say, hey guys, wait. Reliance looking for 5 billion. Okay, into 4 tranche, which is total 20 billion. I will give 500,000 each time. 500 million each time. Which means total 2 billion, which means around 10%. So 10% of the total 20 billion to be payable by us. From where we are arranging this 2 billion, that's not your problem, that is my problem. But I would be giving 2 billion from my pocket. That's interesting. This is called participating bank. Third is the hybrid. Now, what the hell is hybrid? Now, hybrid means he is not only arranging, but he is also participating, which means JP Morgan will say, hey guys, wait. Reliance needs 20 billion. Good. 2 billion I will give from my side. And another 2 billion I would be arranging from my clients. Probably interdealer network, probably the hedge fund, probably the pension fund, probably the private equity, probably the family offices and more. I'll explore this point in a later videos. So when we speak about syndication, the one thing which we need to understand very carefully is that syndication is having a face. Now that face is always Goldman or maybe any other big bank. And people believe that, oh my God, Goldman did arrange that. No, guys, it is not that Goldman not funded it. Goldman did. So the same arrangement and participation rate applies to Goldman also. Who is the head? Goldman will take a call whether they would be participating or they would be funding. But history is witness, and technically speaking, the party who comes at the top, which is say Goldman in our example, they always act as a hybrid. It means that they give the guarantee, and they also arrange it. That when they charge fees for this, to be honest, that is why they get the marketing, they get the brand value, they charge the fees also, and the chances of failure are also very high. And the very interesting fact is they take the credit risk in their books. Now, by taking the credit risk in their books means God forbid if tomorrow anything happens to Reliance, any volatility happens in oil industry, anything happens which may trigger a huge volatility in the market. Now, Goldman Sachs would be on the toes because the credit risk is on the Goldman Sachs, because the face is the Goldman Sachs. That people always say Goldman did arrange that. That's very important, which we need to learn. So syndication is a very interesting activity in the world of investment banking. But having said that, syndication is one of the most difficult also. The reason is when it comes to syndication, there are credit risk. Number two, the partners needs to agree on the credit spread. I haven't touched a concept called composite, which I would be touching later. They need to agree on the type of instrument, which we haven't discussed in that. So next time onwards, if somebody would be asking you that what would be syndication or what is syndication, you please give him that syndication is of two types. Number one, either you can be arranger or you can be a participant. Sometimes you are hybrid. Please take a note of that. This is Rahul Magan from Treasury Consulting Group. You knew my personal number +91 9899 242 978 +91 9899 242 978. Have a great time.